Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the 71st Hour Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jamie, joined by Ben and Nathan as always. How you guys
Hello.
doing?
Yeah,
Bit of
pretty
a
good.
late night
It's
edition.
later tonight.
I
Yeah.
say late night as in like, oh, it's like 2 a.m. No, it's like, it's
Grandpa
quarter to
Jamie
9.
over here.
Bro, I got up at 6 a.m. I was on a train 2 times. I was in an office. It was 35 degrees in Brisbane today. Like, the whole thing.
Oh
it's
yeah,
a
you
whole
were
thing.
outside today. Dang.
No,
Yeah.
but what not at well, yeah. So the
Yeah.
good thing is when I was walking to the office, wasn't that hot,
Mhm.
and I was just in aircon the entire time. Great, fantastic. Walking out of the office at 4 p.m., I was like, oh man, and it wasn't even that. It was like 32, but it was still just.
That's
There was no breeze. It was just still
It was just humid.
hot air.
It was-
It's just humid and hot and still and Queensland, man, fucking hate it.
Mhm.
How you guys doing? You know?
good.
That's
Today
good.
was tiring.
Yeah?
Well, like
How about
right
you,
now-
Nathan? How you been? We haven't spoken in ages because we've just been deep in a Destiny pit.
Yeah.
How you
true.
been?
Bro,
What are you
I haven't
doing?
had friends for 2 weeks since Destiny
Yeah,
came
I'm
out.
sorry. It's gonna change tomorrow, you know,
It's-
for
yeah.
at least one day, and then I'm gonna
Bro, that is
drop
cap.
in. I'm gonna drop into a Diablo 4 pit,
Yeah. Exactly.
and then we'll be friends again for a little bit, and then
Mhm.
I'm gonna drop into a Resident Evil 4 pit,
Yep.
and a Diablo 4 pit at the same time, like 2 pits. Like half of me is gonna get like in Sons of the Forest. I'm gonna get cut in half. Half of me is gonna go into Diablo 4. The other half is gonna go into Resident Evil 4. And just for maximum efficiency.
Understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been in quite a few pits lately. But enough about pits. Let's talk about potential new consoles? Question mark?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna be honest, these rumors, they're not very
Strong at
substantial.
all. Yeah.
I feel like our conversation might carry this little segment here because there's
not
not a lot to talk about. Basically, we'll start. Wait, what do you want to start with, Seto? Do you want to start with PlayStation
Yeah.
or
You guys talk
Nintendo?
for a sec.
Oh no.
Okay,
Oh,
no
no.
worries,
The
no
technician's
worries.
leaving. The technician's leaving.
Okay, everything might explode. all
Oh
of a sudden.
no.
Ben,
Yeah.
actually, we should do PlayStation first since
I think PlayStation's fine. Yeah.
Nathan is Mr. Nintendo.
Nathan's
Mr. Nathan Nintendo, MNN. That's what
Yeah,
they call him.
Yeah. MNN.
So PS5. Let's talk
Mhm.
about a potential PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
So the headline is PS5 Pro in development, could release late 2024. So I just took some segments because a lot of it's the typical thing with an
It's a lot of
article
fluff.
where a lot of it is fluff to keep you on the site for a long time.
Yeah.
The general consensus is that Sony Interactive Entertainment is looking to accelerate ray tracing performance in video games. There's the why they're doing this.
Yeah.
The what is that the PS5 Pro would have increased visuals, performance, and speeds.
Same as PS4
That's
Pro.
not
Yeah.
exactly a hard thing to call. If there is a PS5 Pro, naturally, it's gonna be you're gonna get a better console overall. It's gonna be
Yeah.
better than the PS5. And the only thing that's actually pretty concrete concrete in the way that this leak is, or this rumor, is that it would launch at the end of 2024. So
Okay.
end of next year.
And next year. Yeah.
Ben, why the fuck are they doing this, man?
I
Who
don't
cares?
know. Yeah.
wants this?
Yeah. The PS5 is already quite
It's
strong.
it's like here's the thing, right? Is that the PS5 has only just kind of become a console that you can actually readily buy whenever you want. Probably at the beginning of this year. And you're telling me at the end of next year there's going to be a new console that's going to be hard to get?
Yeah, exactly. Like we already have so many issues with people struggling to get PS5. Still now struggling to get PS5.
No, so it's okay now.
It's okay now?
Like if I hop on to JB Hi-Fi, I can get a bundle for like
Okay.
$950 because they went up in price. And the Australian retailers are doing the thing where they bundle in a game and a controller with you, so you can only get it for like $950 base. Like that's you cannot just get the console with one controller. You got to get the whole package.
Bro, it's $950.
It is expensive.
Pro
So is a Pro going to be $1,000? We're gonna be these $1,000 consoles. At
How
that point, maybe you should just build a PC. Although PS5 Pro probably more powerful than a $1,000 PC.
How much would the jump up? How much was the jump up between PS4 and PS4 Pro? How much was that jump up?
Well, the problem with the PS4 Pro was that it wasn't an increase on the CPU, except for clock speed.
Mhm.
it was mainly just a GPU increase.
Yeah, yeah.
So you were able to hit like the PS4 Pro wasn't as big of a jump as the Xbox One X was to the Xbox One. So
Yeah.
you could get like 1800p in a
Okay,
lot of
okay.
games. A lot of reconstructed like checkerboard rendering. That's what
Mhm.
they were using to get games at 4K, but it wasn't true 4K.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a big jump, right?
And
It was mainly just a resolution thing. The thing is now PS5 is doing that.
now
You know,
it wasn't that big of a jump, right?
No.
How much was the cost increase between PS4 and PS4 Pro?
I think PS4 Pro was $100 more than a PS4 at the time.
Right.
The PS4
Okay.
went down in price. So
Yeah.
so what I think would happen is PS5 Pro comes out.
Mhm.
PS5 goes down $100.
Yeah.
Comes $850 here.
Mhm.
Oh my
Still
god.
still fucking
Still,
ridiculous.
still a lot of money.
Or maybe 750. Maybe it goes back down to original price.
Mhm.
For the disc version. Then the PS5 Pro comes out. It's costing $900,
Which
950, 850 to 950.
the thing is, it has to be better than a $900 PC, which I don't think is that hard to
But
beat.
but what
No.
does it do that's different? Like,
Well, so according to
Yeah.
this patent, Sony is looking to. It's just this patent around architecture, and they're trying to accelerate ray tracing performance on console.
right.
Because obviously, you see on PS5, you either get ray tracing at 4K 30 or you get performance mode. So likely the PS5 Pro would be able to do the performance plus the ray tracing and the resolution.
Yeah. Okay.
There's
But-
less marketing buzzwords there because the PS4 Pro was like 4K. Whoa,
Exactly,
it actually
exactly.
outputs at that resolution.
So I don't
PS5 is already
know.
strong enough. Like
Yeah.
it can. Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, the thing is, like, I've noticed the PS5, it just doesn't run games as well as I would like them to run. You know what I mean? It's because it's that concession where you get the frame rate, but you lose the resolution. And it's not it's like around 1440p, which is fine, but sometimes like the textures might not look as good and
Yeah.
they might not be
Yeah.
as high res. So there are a lot of concessions to get games running at a normal performance level, I'd say.
Mhm.
So it makes sense in that way, right?
Mhm.
It also makes sense is that people would buy this. Like people would
Oh,
would buy a PS5 Pro for sure.
Yeah.
But the idea that we've just the difference between the PS4 generation and now is that PS4 was readily available for a long time before the PS4 Pro came out.
Mm.
And so PS5 I feel like is only kind of it feels like now it's just started.
Yeah.
We were still
agree.
getting like the PlayStation exclusive, but we're still on PS4. Like you
Mhm.
could play God of War Ragnarok on PS4, you could play Spider-Man Miles Morales. There were only a few PS5 only games. And like it feels like this year is the first year where we're getting the first set of
Mhm.
Sony exclusives that are only on PS5.
Yeah. I
So
agree.
it sort of feels like this is the year that it started, this generation, in a
And then
weird
next
way.
year-
And so the fact that next year we're getting another one is like, man, it's just I don't know. It's almost like a console overload a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
I agree. Definitely. That's
and-
definitely true.
And there was also this rumor like last year that they were going to release a PS5 with a detachable disk drive. So I guess
Interesting.
maybe if you have a digital PS5 now, you could buy this disk drive, which would connect via USB-C, I guess, and then you'd plug it in to your PS5,
That
so
would
you
be
could have the disk
good.
capability. But then they were also going to replace the current PS5 with a PS5 that was digital, but you could buy the disk drive separately. I don't know, man. There's a lot of weird rumors around PlayStation hardware at the moment that I don't. Yeah,
It's
I don't
weird.
know.
That's just weird. I don't know.
It's very strange. And
yeah,
I mean, realistically, do you think this is happening?
probably not.
I
you
don't
don't think it's
think
gonna
the
happen?
detachable disc drive thing will happen.
Well, yes,
You think that will
that's what I
happen?
mean.
You
No, I
don't
don't
think
think
that will happen?
That's-
but you
that's
think
what
the
I meant.
PS5 Pro? Yeah, it is very strange.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I meant. Sorry, I don't think
Kinda
that's gonna
janky.
happen. I think that is a
The
very
detachable
like,
disk drive not real. PS5 Pro real.
yes, that's what I
Yeah,
meant.
not
Would
sure
you-
if it'll
do
happen
you
as
thi-
soon as rumored though.
Yeah,
I think
I-
I just think the end of next year is too early.
I think if Sony was smart, they would wait and they would actually hold back because of all the issues with scalpers and stuff like that. I think they would play it a little bit safer and just wait a little bit, like that, because then otherwise you will run into an issue as you said, console overload would actually be a thing, right? That would just be very big, and then people have to fork out so much more money, and some people get pissed off because like I've waited so long just to get a PS5.
Yeah, like imagine you buy a PS5 at the end of this year, and then a year later there's another one. It's like all these parents are like, "What the fuck
Yeah,
are you
why?
talking
You're
about, man?"
finally able to get it.
And to be
Yeah.
fair, people are more used to yearly upgrades of technology now with phones.
Mhm.
But a phone's a little more useful than a gaming console. You know what I mean? You use a
Exactly.
phone a little more than you use a gaming console.
Yeah,
So
bro.
it's a little
Like,
bit different.
yeah, like on my phone, I played Diablo Immortal.
Yeah. You know, when I bought like the pre-order edition for Diablo 4, I got a skin in Diablo Immortal. So I'm
Ooh,
gonna rock
you're
that,
in.
dude.
Bro,
Yeah,
rock it, dude. Rock it.
I'm gonna rock that very exclusive skin. It's the equivalent of like $500 in Diablo Immortal. The other rumor was that the PS6 is apparently coming in at least 2028. Like that's the earliest.
I think that's about right.
That's
Which
about
sounds
right.
right. 8
That makes
years. That's a typical generation now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just seems so far away, but it's like, oh, it's only 5 years. Like
That's
that's
only
gonna
5
go by
years.
so fast. The last question I had is, do you think you would buy a PS5 Pro?
Probably not. No.
Bro, I've
Yeah,
played
I'm
like
also with
3
the same
games on
boat.
this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I can literally. These are the games I played. I played Spider-Man. I played Last of Us. I played God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah,
Well, God of War Ragnarok was like the only one that you couldn't
That's
play
the
on
only-
PS4 as well.
Yeah, God of War Ragnarok is the only like PS5 game that I've
Yeah.
actually.
It's on PS4.
Oh, it is.
Oh, never mind.
Okay. Never
There
mind.
was it was up until Spider-Man 2, there will have been no reason except for like, I mean, there's been some PS5 games. You've gotten what? Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, fun game, mainly for children though. Demon Souls remake, which
True.
was at the beginning of the PS5 generation. Very good game. Looks very beautiful, runs great. But other than those two, like I can't really think
Nothing
of like
much.
there was Forspoken.
Yeah.
Jumping, magic jumping.
No,
Who doesn't like that? You know that studio shut down?
Yeah,
Oh,
they shut.
no.
Yeah, they shut down that studio.
That bad, eh?
Yeah,
It did. Apparently, the game cost $100 million, and they did not sell enough, obviously, because yeah. I saw a video of some guy looking in the trash can behind a GameStop, not GameStop, and there are a bunch of like Forspoken pre-order steelbooks just in the trash.
No.
So like obviously
even
not
sell
enough
on
people
eBay.
pre-ordered it, and so and they were just like, well, these are pre-order items, so we just need to just chuck these out, I guess.
Yeah. I remember when I
Yeah.
heard about that because I was in chat with Shadow and it was like 12 a.m. and he's like, oh no. And he just sends me the link to a Twitter article that says that Forspoken got shut down.
Yeah, the
It's
studio.
the funniest shit, dude.
Yeah, unfortunate.
It's very
You know,
unfortunate.
it's not. It's funny in the way that game just.
Oh
it's-
yeah, like
It's funny that it died so quickly.
oh
but
yeah. That's the thing is that
It was
it's
sort of,
sad.
the writing was on the wall very quickly.
It's unfortunate people lost their jobs, but it's funny about how quick it got terminated. That's why I find it funny. It's just how
Yeah.
quick they were just like, no, and just cut the cord. They were done with it, bro. Not even
Yeah.
live support. They just
So-
get rid of it.
Last thoughts on PS5 Pro. I am also not that excited for it. Like
No.
if pre this PC that I have, might have thought about it.
Hmm.
But I mean, games run well enough, right?
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man 2 will still run great on a PS5. It's not
Mhm.
gonna need that extra horsepower. And also those games eventually come to PC anyway. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's a no from me. I
Yeah.
kind of hope they don't do it. I hope they just
push it back.
focus on PS5.
Yeah, just
I
push
mean
it back.
PS6, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, true. PS6 would be good. Yeah.
Mhm.
On the opposite end of the spectrum
Mhm.
is something that I do think is needed now, very much
100%.
so,
Mhm.
and that is a new Switch.
Yeah.
So this rumor is even more light on details. It's essentially just a games journalist who has been right in the past with a lot of stuff. He correctly leaked the Metro Prime remaster last year, and then they delayed it. Like it internally was delayed until this year. And so but he basically said, Jeff Grubb, this guy that gets it right all the time. He
Good old
said,
Grub. Good old Grub.
Grubb's got it right. He revealed on a new video on his YouTube channel that he is hearing about an official announcement of a Switch 2 reveal that would be happening in late 2023. He also said he can't 100% verify, so he's like doubling. He's already rolling it back. He's already doubling
rolling
back. He says it's a rumor of a rumor. So, yeah, this is where we're at now. And he also said it's hard to he finds it hard to believe. So even the leaker finds the idea of this hard to believe.
If the leaker's saying that, I don't know. If it's
But I feel like
real.
he's just saying that because he doesn't want people to get too excited. And then when if this doesn't happen in late 2023, like if it's an early 2024 thing, everyone's gonna get mad and just like hate, Twitter hate farm him or whatever. Do you think this is gonna happen? Do you think we're due for a Switch 2 this year?
Due
Like
for it.
an announcement?
I think
Yeah.
that
Okay, first question. Do you think it's gonna happen end of this
No.
year?
not end of this year. No, I don't think. End of this year.
I also think it's unlikely it's the end of this year.
I could see next year. Don't see end of this year.
I think 2024 is it's time.
Yeah.
Like this recent direct that they had was very light on stuff that's good, like that can sell units, I think.
Mhm.
Apart from Metro Prime, apart from Zelda, obviously. But once you get past Zelda, it's like,
Very
what do
thin.
you have? You
Mhm.
know, Metro Prime 4. Where is it? Like that's probably
Missing.
a Switch. That's probably a Switch 2 launch title, if I had to guess. I don't think that's a Switch game anymore. And yeah, as Nathan said, it's very needed now.
Mhm.
Like it's
It's
so
struggling.
noticeable playing. Not all games. Like I know Nathan, you said Metro Prime Remastered looked pretty good on a TV.
Yeah, it's good.
But there's some games like I think about stuff that I've seen videos of like Bayonetta 3, which came out last year.
Oh yeah. Games like
Runs
that look rough.
real bad.
Struggling.
Does
Yeah.
not look very good. Super alias. There's no anti-aliasing. I think that's the biggest thing is that they just can't.
Pokemon.
It's just yeah, and that's
Pokemon
another one.
was-
Yeah, Pokemon last year very bad.
That's
Even
insane.
Arceus looked very bad.
Yeah.
It didn't run great. Yeah, there's been a lot that have just. It's just not. It's just. I mean, the hardware was already dated in 2017, right? Because they had to,
Yeah.
it had to be handheld, so there had to be concessions there. So it's been 6 years. I think it's time for a new iteration. Do you think it's going to be exactly like a Switch?
Yeah, I think that they're going to
Same
stick to this
functionality?
because it's been so successful. But yeah, it'll just be more powerful now that we've got chips that are like chips that are in the Steam Deck, for example. They can actually output some decent power now. And if you put some cooling behind them, they can be good. I think 720p is fine in handheld. I just would like something
Yes.
that would be able to 4K game on a TV.
Yes, 100%. Now
Maybe
I know
not,
you said
like, fully, but
I know you said they're probably going to go with like the same functionality because Switch was successful. But if we remember the Wii very successful. Wii U not so successful, but they did change how
yeah,
the whole
they
functionality.
fundamentally kind of screwed it.
And I guess without the Wii U, we wouldn't have gotten the Switch. So we have to think about that sometimes. Yeah, I think. What do you think they're going to call it? Right?
I think they'll keep the Switch name.
Yeah.
It's been so popular.
Yeah.
that I think they'd be shooting themselves in the foot to call it something different.
I've seen a few people say they should call it the Super Nintendo Switch, which would be a great name.
Confusing.
Well, confusing, but also they, NES, Super NES, like continue that. I guess I don't know. Yeah, I think they're going to keep the Switch name as well. I think that branding hits for people now when they see Switch. I feel like they see Switch more than they see Nintendo almost.
Yeah.
For a
100%.
casual audience, and as you said, it's sold so many units, so many. What is it at now? 120 million?
It's like, is it one of the best selling, or is it the best selling, or is it
No.
One of the best selling. I
One of
think
the
it's
best
still
selling,
behind PS2.
It is? Yeah, okay.
Which sales? It is at. They are now at. It's not. No.
I think the DS is still on top of it.
Switch units. That's a better way of putting it. It has sold 114 million units.
That's
The
cool.
DS is still on top.
How many?
The DS has sold 154 million units. And the Game Boy 118 million.
Getting
It's
there.
catching up. Yeah, it's
Highest
catching up.
selling. I'm gonna say highest selling video game console.
But I feel like that's quite good considering how expensive the Switch is compared to those two consoles.
Correct.
Because they were
Correct.
handheld only.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the Switch doesn't really go down in price that often, right?
No.
No,
Like-
not really.
I feel like the cheapest I've seen it is maybe like $370,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
$100 off in Australia release. I don't know how. In the US, they might be just giving these fucking things away because shit
I
goes
always
so
see
cheap
that.
there.
They're like, yes, $250, and here it's like $580. Like,
Yeah.
thanks, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So the current ranking for the top three is PS2 155 million, Nintendo DS 154 million, Nintendo Switch 122 million. So that 118 was old.
Oh,
So it
there
is
you
now
go.
ahead of the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color.
Good. That's good.
So yeah,
That's
it
good.
is now the number 3 highest selling video game console of all time. Very impressive. They're not getting rid of the Switch name, and they're not
No.
getting rid of the
No.
because this is selling. I mean, it's sold another 20 million units more than the Wii. So
Oh
Wow.
yeah.
In terms of
Crazy.
numbers, I think they're just like they've got this formula where it's so easy for them to outperform compared to Microsoft and Sony because their
Yeah.
console's so much cheaper and
Mhm.
is so much more marketed to kids, which is like when
That's
a
the hard
parent
part.
wants to buy something for Christmas and they look at $1,000 console and they go, "Why the fuck would I buy that for my kid?" But they
Yep,
see this $500
exactly.
Switch and they go, "Oh, it's got kids games on it. I'm gonna buy this."
That's
Yeah.
actually literally it. At like the school I work at, right? One of the parents is like, "You play video games, right?" Like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Oh, well, like, okay, look, like, what would you recommend?" And I was like, "Well, you get like Xbox, PS5, PS4." Like, "Oh, I was looking at PlayStation, but it's $1,000. I don't want to do that." I'm like, "Understandable." I was like, "What about Nintendo?" And immediately she like immediately knew Zelda, Mario, like she knew everything,
Yeah.
right? She like it's because it's so marketable towards that audience, right? Like you already know, she already knew everything. Like that's the thing. It's
I will
just
say, PS4 has sold 117 million units.
that's insane.
So yeah,
That's
the
still really
PS4 much more expensive than the Switch. Well, not much more. I guess it's what it was like $600,
It was in between because
550.
it wasn't as
Yeah,
expensive as the 3 and definitely isn't as expensive as the 5. And it was like this
three
nice,
nine
yeah.
hundred ninety nine Australian
Yeah.
dollars. Oh my god, what a fucking
Blu-ray
mistake!
drive cost half the cost of the
PS3,
console.
yeah, PS3 still ended up selling 87 million
that's
units.
good. That's
Actually, and
good.
it outsold the Xbox 360 in the
How much
end,
did the Xbox
Wow.
360 have?
84 million.
There you go.
Man, like Sony dropped the ball so hard with the PS3, and yet it
Yeah,
still outsold 360.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
wild.
That's
It's crazy how early to the Blu-ray game they were, and they
Yeah.
didn't need to be.
yeah.
No, it
It
did
fit
pay
on
off though, because
DVDs.
like you think about
Yeah.
all those PS3 exclusive games, they were so much uh better looking, I'd say.
That's true. They could fit stuff on there that Xbox couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And even like the way they did the dual, like the separated architecture on PS3, which made it so difficult for third party developers to develop for it. Which is
Oh
why you
yeah.
got things like Skyrim, where you would get a huge memory leak issue where there were too many assets in the world loading, and it would slowly degrade the performance the more you play the game.
I remember that.
And so it basically became unplayable. Like when you got to the 50-hour mark in Skyrim, you couldn't play the game anymore on
What
PS3.
the fuck?
It would drop down to like 10 FPS because it didn't like it wasn't getting rid of any of the assets in the world. It just kept them around. So the more you played it, yeah, the worse performance got. And they never fixed it.
Dude,
Bethesda
that
never
was
fixed that. It's
that was
still
the
it's if you
funniest
play it on
thing.
PS3.
One of my friends back in school, I remember he got Skyrim on his PS3, and the first I saw, I was like, "Wow, this is such a good game." And then a week later, he was like, "Bro, this game is not running
I can't
anymore."
play this. It just doesn't work.
It was really funny.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, so that was the bad part about the
Mhm.
PS3 architecture. But the good part is that we got stuff like The Last of Us,
yeah,
you know,
which was really good.
and which
Which was very good.
very good looking game for that generation.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's the Switch 2, I guess.
Yeah, that's it.
Not much to talk about, to be honest.
No, there's
This
not
is
much.
just for the thumbnail.
Mhm.
So anyone clicking on the video, get fucked.
Yeah,
You
that
got
was
baited.
20 minutes.
Switch 2 is coming this year? Question mark.
Switch
Yeah.
2 in 2023?
And
Question
that
mark,
was
question mark.
how long was the conversation? 8 minutes. 8 minutes.
Oh, it was more than that. It was more than that.
It was about
Surely.
8 to
We're
10
only
minutes.
20 minutes of this
It's only
podcast.
20 minutes into the podcast.
I mean, yeah, there's just not a lot to talk about.
Mm.
It's got to happen at some point. Next year has to happen. This year,
Exactly.
unlikely, right? Like that's where we're coming
Oh,
down
yeah.
on it.
Yeah, unlikely next year.
Do you think they'll release an upgraded version of Tears of the Kingdom on Switch 2?
Yeah,
Like
probably.
with better visuals?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
it comes
And
out soon. Yeah.
and there'll be no upgrade. You'll have to
I can
pay
see
the same price for it.
I can see any game coming out like this year, or maybe even a couple of games last year, getting an upgraded version for Switch 2. I could see
Well, that's
it.
exactly
I would
what they
hope
did with the Wii
it's
U.
backwards compatible,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like it has to be.
it's gotta be.
You have to bring your
Yeah.
Switch games to Switch 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they're
Even
giving the
even
same
if they
branding,
don't
yeah.
even if they don't get the same, if they don't get like a resolution bump, like maybe they run the same.
Just
Mm.
have them backwards compatible.
Just
like,
have them be back with they have. I mean, Nintendo's been decently good about like you can still
Actually-
play Wii games on Wii U.
You're
Mhm.
right. It will be possible because they've been, well, I mean, it should be right because they've
It
done
should
that
be, it really
every
should.
year up until the Switch.
Yeah.
But the only reason that they changed that is because they changed the whole way that the console
Yes,
works.
exactly.
Because it's handheld. So I think if they keep the handheld, then yeah, they probably will make them back.
Could you play GameCube games on the Wii U?
No, there was only one generation back.
Okay.
Not
Wonder
through.
why they did that. Yeah.
So you
So
could
wait, you could
virtual
play,
console them,
but
but
you couldn't play N64 games on GameCube
Well, no,
because they were
also.
different. Yeah.
Actually, I think there were not for N64, but there was some cartridge adapting going on for like Game Boy and something. Yeah, I don't know. There was
Yeah,
some
right.
weird. Yeah,
Crossover there.
yeah.
Yeah, let's hope it's a little less complex with the Switch 2. Let's hope it's not like you have to like have your Switch connected to your Switch 2 or some shit to like I don't know, man. I don't know. Nintendo does some weird shit. You know,
do.
they go like, you know, where you could just go a straight line. They're just like, okay, we're gonna squiggle this up and just like go the most difficult way possible to
Yeah, I
get
hope
you
they
what you
just
need.
make the Switch again, but just make it better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Same,
they need
just
to
do
do.
the same cartridges, same, yeah, please, God, please. I've got so many Switch games that I have barely played because I always forget about the Switch, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Let's move over to some news stories this week.
Hot fixes, some good old hot fixes.
Just a hot fix, just a hot messing fix all over your face.
Oh, Jesus.
Uh,
Jesus.
oh, I'm so tired. I'm just,
Yeah.
you know, I can't remember. We didn't talk about Starfield's release date last week, right?
No.
Just to okay.
Not last week.
Okay.
Last week was mainly
But
the Olympics.
we didn't talk about it the week before, right? We haven't talked. We haven't.
Last
spoke about
time
it.
we talked about Last of Us was like without when Nathan was around actually.
Starfield.
Yeah, Starfield was the last time before.
Well, that was when we were
Nathan
talking about if we think it's we were comparing the first party games this year, right?
Yes, that is.
And that
that
was
is the
like
last
episode
time.
3. That was ages ago.
That was a
Yeah.
long time
So
ago.
yeah, this is new news for us on the podcast. It is like a week old, so it's not the newest information, but essentially it's just the release date announcement. They announced it's not coming first half of 2023. It's now coming September 6th, 2023. How do we feel about Starfield now that we've seen a little bit more of it in this trailer? We have an
Nathan?
announcement of a Starfield Direct in June. Are we
Nathan?
excited?
Nathan,
Nathan, are
for
you
you?
excited?
I don't think this changes anything for me. They didn't really. Yeah.
Do you
I
think,
think-
the delay scares you a little bit?
No. I mean,
Okay.
every game. I honestly, every
That's
game
true.
gets delayed.
Every
It's
game
just,
gets
yeah,
That
delayed.
is a really good point.
become unfazed.
I just hope. Oh man, I hope this game's good. I really do.
Mhm.
I mean, when did this game get? This game got announced in 2019, I believe.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's been a
wow.
while.
It was the
wow.
same time, the same year that's Fallout 76 got announced.
Oh wow.
That was the
Okay.
press conference where they were like, "Here's Fallout 76," and they knew preemptively that no one was going to be excited for this, so they announced Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 to be like,
Oh, that 1 second trailer.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
This
like
is
going
to
basically the
hills, going
title
to
It's
reveal
coming.
for those.
Yeah.
And even Elder Scrolls 6 doesn't have a title.
Yeah,
It's
it
just
doesn't even have
Elder
a
Scrolls
title.
6.
Yeah.
I guess the really exciting thing is that once this game is out, once Starfield's out, it's all speed ahead to ES
Elder Scrolls
yeah,
6.
Elder Scrolls 6. So
Mhm.
I keep saying I was about to say ESO because Elder Scrolls Online's still going.
Yeah, that's still a thing.
Yeah, I look, I'm not particularly worried about this. I do think the fact that it has sort of been delayed almost an entire year gives me some Cyberpunk vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
The fact that it was
Yeah.
meant to come out what 11/11 or yeah 11/11/21 no
Mhm.
no 22 yeah last year. And then it just they were like, oh, it's coming out 2023 now, and then we didn't get a date until now. I don't know. There is a little bit of gameplay you see in the back here, like they show like
Fire.
off-screen stuff. It doesn't really. I mean, it's not really showing much. I will say the shooting a little bit later on does remind me of like Fallout 4 shooting.
Mhm.
So there is that. You know, at the end of the day, it's going to be a Bethesda game. It's not going to be this revolutionary thing, except in terms of maybe exploration. That might be the thing where they really focus on. And I know that in the past they've talked a little bit about like the factions and how the factions work in the game. And so that's like a big kind of point of like I guess like design theory that they're working on. Like a big design point in the game is that you know the way the factions work with each other.
Yeah, it's always been a thing with Fallout, so I think they're trying to
Yeah,
stick
for
with
sure. I mean, this looks great. Like if you look at like them looking around, like that looks
looks good.
awesome. It looks good. I'm excited for it. I'm not regretting putting it on my fantasy critic. and I can't wait to play it on September 6th, 2023, unless it
Mhm.
gets delayed again. Surely
And
not.
then
It
hopefully
can't,
not.
right? It can't get delayed again.
If it gets pushed back to next year, then that'd be very worrisome.
Yeah, then it's
Very-
worrying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that is. I think that's worry mode.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yes, September 6th. Stay tuned for a Starfield Direct on June 11th. And
Mhm.
we'll be talking about that when that comes around.
when it actually happens. Yep.
The second thing is almost like, man, I gotta say, it was really hard finding news to talk about this week. Oh my god.
There was literally not much.
It was really hard because yeah, there just wasn't that much. There was a few things here and there, but yeah, as I said, not a whole lot. But
Yeah.
how about we talk a little bit about the potential of a Last of Us Part 3?
Huge.
So
Good.
during a spoiler cast episode that Neil Druckmann was on, where he talked about the TV show, he did mention a little bit about what Naughty Dog might be working on. So this is the quote. I know the fans really want The Last of Us Part 3. I hear about it all the time. All I can say is that we're already into our next project and the decision has already been made. I can't say what it is, but that is the process we went through. There was a lot of consideration of different things and we picked the thing we were the most excited for. He added, at the end of every project, we purposefully explored several different projects. Some of them might be a sequel, and then a bunch of new ideas. And then we feel like, where do our passions lie?
Mm.
Do we
That sounds
think,
like not The Last of Us 3.
you think it's
not
not Last of
like-
Us 3?
no.
You think it's
There's
a new
like-
IP?
2 or 3 different points in there that he kind of
Yeah.
alluded to it not being it.
Yeah.
It's almost
very
like
much
he's like, we know fans really want Last of Us Part 3, but
Here's some excuses.
this is
Yeah.
this is where we've already decided. Yeah, all I can say is we're already into our next project.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That,
man.
that for me was like definitive, and then again he said something a bit later on that was like it's
There was a
literally
lot of
said-
consideration of different things, and we
Yeah,
picked the thing
yeah,
we were
that's
the most excited for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He-
also think this is. Sorry, you go, Ben.
I was just going to say, he literally said, I know you want Last of Us Part 3. Then it went on like a paragraph
yeah.
excuse saying
A paragraph
that,
quote being like, "Here's the reasons why we didn't do that."
yeah,
Why we're not doing
basically,
that.
right? Like, I feel like if
Um,
it was, he would just be like, Last of Us Part 3, wait and see. You know what I mean? Like, he would like tease it a little bit. But this is very much.
I think. Well, I think if you tease it, it would have been like dead on confirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if Sony, like the executives, are like, "Fuck, like, you sure you can't work on Last of Us 3 because of how well the
Yeah.
TV show did? Like, you sure you can't just like?"
Do you
I
guys
bet
think-
I think this is a new IP. There have been like sort of teasers or references to like a medieval kind of game or fantasy game
For
in
Honor?
The Last of Us Part 2,
For Honor?
which yeah, what's that?
For Honor?
For Honor, yeah, surely. Forspoken, For Honor. You put 4 at the beginning of a game, it's not going to go well,
It's not going to go well.
except for Forsaken.
And
It's
Fortnite.
different. And Fortnite.
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, I think this is a new IP.
Yeah,
And I think it makes sense. Like, I if I remember right, I don't think Naughty Dog. That's not true. They have done games back to back. I was gonna say this would be the first time they do a sequel back to back, but they did 3 Uncharted games, or 3.
Did they
Yeah, they
really?
did
Oh,
Uncharted
wow.
1 to 3, and then they did Last of Us 1,
Oh wow. Okay. there
and
you
then they
go.
did Uncharted 4,
And then part
and
2.
then Lost Legacy, and then Part 2.
Okay. Mhm.
But they've got separate teams now, so I think even if they are working on a new IP now, which I'm not expecting to see like a Last of Us Part 3 announcement now. I think there's probably a team that's working on in the background right now, like doing
Yeah.
R&D for. And I think Last of Us Part 3, like shit, when does that game come out now? Like
Yeah.
we're probably
Because-
like 3 or 4 years away from this new IP, whatever it is,
Mm.
fantasy game, and then what? Like another 6 years after
Away
that,
from Last
for
of
Last of
Us.
Us Part 3. So we're maybe
Yeah.
10 years away.
Do you
From-
reckon that they'll wait until the second game
I was gonna say.
TV show is done and then they'll announce it off the back of that hype?
I was gonna say.
So that will probably
would
be what? So season 2. I mean, they said Last of Us Part 2 will take at least 2 seasons to
Yeah,
adapt.
for sure.
So that's what. So do you think they're gonna do like obviously there'll be 2 years between season 1 and season 2, so it'll be 2025 for season
Mhm.
2. Do you think season 3 will be 2026,
Yeah,
or do you think
probably.
that'll be another 2
Yeah.
years?
No, I think a year. I think
so.
they'll.
You think they'll do back to back?
think
I
they'll
think
stick
they'll
it.
back
seasons?
Yeah.
100%. And then I agree with Nathan that as soon as season 3 of Last of Us TV show ends, they'll be like, okay, Last of Us Part 3. Like they're gonna
Then-
announce it.
What does the HBO show do?
The The rub
They
with
just
it.
stopped. Like you
Or
3 seasons.
they've been working on them side by side the whole time.
Play the
That would
game
be
and-
fucked, dude.
Yeah,
No, that would be like a Game of Thrones thing
it would
Yeah.
be
where like
really
the TV
messed
show
up.
gets ahead of the game
Yeah, that would be really messed
instead of
up.
getting ahead of the books. I mean, the thing is, there is a Last of Us multiplayer game that we're
Mhm.
gonna hear about more
Oh
this
yeah,
year.
forgot all
So
about
that
Oh,
is-
true.
That's a
true.
thing. There's I've heard so many rumors about this game. It's either I've heard that it's a 2-player co-op game. I've heard that it's like a Tarkov style extraction battle royale-esque game.
Please don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I've heard it's like a DayZ game. There's been a ton of
Hmm.
rumors. I
I would
think
rather
I'm
DayZ
leaning.
than Tarkov.
Yeah.
I think it's more likely that it's gonna be a DayZ style game
I
with
would
narrative
rather.
elements, which
I think that could be cool.
would be kind of fucking sick. You know,
Yeah.
If they do
like
it
I
right.
feel like for the longest time with like a DayZ game, I've been like, man, if a fucking AAA developer did this idea, it
Same.
would fucking kill.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
haven't seen that before, have we? Like,
We
no
have
one's
not.
tried it.
No,
Yeah.
no. We've seen a lot of indie developers like do
Too many.
their.
There was the
Yeah.
DayZ mod, and then there was DayZ, and then there was like War Z,
And there
and
was
then
like
there's all these rip-offs of
Unturned.
DayZ.
Wasn't like Unturned? Was that like
Unturned
block
was the
one?
block one.
There
Yeah,
was the block
that
one,
was. I mean,
yeah.
that wasn't. I mean, I guess that was sort of DayZ like.
Sure.
But yeah, we've never
Um,
seen a
I-
AAA dev tackle that.
I
I'm down to
think-
see that.
Yeah, I think that'd be really sick. If we can see a AAA dev actually do. Hey, we had what the days before? What other one's called? The one that looks like a scam.
Oh
You know, that
yeah.
game?
Oh,
Yeah,
that is
game.
definitely. You know what? That is like a Last of Us mixed with the
Yeah.
Division. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I honestly think that multiplayer Last of Us multiplayer game comes out this year.
I can see it.
I think
Could
they
do.
stealth drop it
I can see it.
because they sort of
Bro.
like teased it last year. I could see them showing it this year at like a I don't know a PlayStation conference this year at some point, and then saying and it's available like next week.
Dude,
And I think
can
it launches on PC at the same time.
I could see that. Like, here's the thing: is that like stealth drops in the past year have become so popular to do,
Mhm.
right? We're like announcement, cool, games out.
Had a couple of
you
good
know,
ones, yeah.
Yeah,
What did
yeah.
we
like,
had Hi-Fi Rush, which is
Yeah,
awesome, and then we had
Hi-Fi
Metro
Rush.
Prime
mhm.
remastered.
I think.
Oh, it's
I think-
Sony's turn.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
That
I
was the
think.
craziest drop for me.
What was?
Metro Prime Remastered when
I know.
I was like, oh, Metro Prime Remastered, sick. I've been waiting for that. And then
It's
I read the
available
byline,
today.
available now. I'm like,
Yeah. They
I'm
said
on
in New Zealand,
holidays,
like, wait,
getting on the public Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I love stealth drops, especially like in the past when they've done companies have done stealth drops. They've been like, "Oh, this is shit." Like,
Yeah,
this is why you
exactly.
stealth dropped it because you didn't want to market this. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
but these
not
are
great."
actually good games. These are
I know,
actually
but
good
both of those
pieces.
games were fucking awesome. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I could see that game coming this year at some point.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see
And
it.
I mean, if anyone's gonna crack like the narrative slash multiplayer online kind of genre, which I feel like developers have been trying to do for years and years and years, it's gonna be Naughty Dog.
Yeah,
Um,
100%. 100%.
but it could also come next year. So that's technically the next project. So Neil's talking about a new, like the thing
Yeah,
after
like
that.
brand new IP.
So yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Do you think what? Okay, so if you could choose what Naughty Dog's new IP would be, let's say either sci-fi or fantasy, what would you pick?
I think their style of gameplay probably fits better with a fantasy game than a sci-fi
Same.
game.
I was gonna say fantasy is a lot better. Like sci-fi, I feel like is a very much of another field that I don't think their gameplay would fit too well. I think.
I honestly
yeah.
think they could do anything, to be honest. To be
Could.
fair,
Really?
Yeah.
but
Sure.
yeah. Oh, Naughty Dog.
But
Yeah.
of something that would work better, then I think fantasy, yeah.
I would dig a medieval type game. I don't think like there's been a decent amount, yeah, like chivalry. I can't say that word, and like For Honor and stuff like that.
And the
But
Dark
like
Souls games.
oh,
So
true.
when you say medieval, you want it to be like realistic,
no, not realistic, but like
fantasy, like
yeah, like-
dragons and princesses
yeah,
and
yeah,
towers and shit.
yeah, exactly. that
Goblins
type
and
of-
ghouls
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
What was
but-
that game that I played a little bit of that was like I can't even remember. It was a medieval game. It's in my library.
Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Kingdom Come Deliverance. Yeah, there you
Mhm.
go. You want it to be like that?
Yeah,
but not shit.
Yeah, where
No,
they were
yeah.
like,
was okay.
yeah, it was okay, right?
Yeah,
it was
it was
just
okay.
buggy. I remember it
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
that was the big problem with it at launch.
Yeah.
Um,
I wasn't really thinking Dark Souls. I think Dark Souls is a very much of a different game than a medieval type of game. Yes, it has medieval like elements.
oh, it's
to it.
fantasy.
It's fantasy. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, no, I would dig that a little bit. I would dig that. I think that'd be pretty interesting.
I kind of want them to do. I kind of want them to try a superhero game.
Ooh.
Like
But,
I'm
you
thinking,
wanna
like,
be
what
like
if
a
they?
Vikings?
Okay. what about like an existing IP? What existing IP would you want Naughty Dog to try? I've got one to give you some time to
Oh,
think. I would
shit.
love them to do a game based on The Boys.
That's a good
I
idea.
think
That's a
they
good
would
one.
fucking. I think they would
I think that'd
kill
be
that.
sick.
I think it would
I
be
think that'd
so
be sick.
good.
Yeah, the boys could
Superhero
really
games have a bad taste in my mouth right now.
same. Yeah, yeah, very much so.
What's happened to superhero games recently?
Justice League and the Marvel one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but we got Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah,
Spider-Man,
ignoring that. Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 is
yeah.
coming. That'll just wipe that palette clean.
No, here, I'll ask this quick question quickly. So yeah, the boys is a good one. Would you guys like to have a game? Because like I heard so many people talk about they want a game like a Superman or a Flash game to actually come out, something like that. Do you think Naughty Dog could do something like that? And you think they could?
Yeah, I mean they could. I think as I said, I think they could do anything. They could literally
Mm,
just be like, I want to do that, and then they do it, and they
mhm.
probably fucking nail it. Like
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything that they couldn't do. I just think in terms of like developers out there, I think they're
one of the
kind of at
best.
the top with like Rockstar, to
Hmm.
be honest.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and like maybe the team that does like Zelda and Nintendo.
Yeah.
I think those are like the top three devs at the moment.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Wait, what was your question? Oh, if they did a Flash or Superman?
Like a Flash or Superman game, because a lot of people have asked for that type of stuff. And
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd rather Insomniac do that though.
yeah, that's the thing. I was gonna say like Insomniac probably better at it, but I could see a boys game be like, yeah, you gotta go
Because
be on
you'd want the Superman game to be open world, right? And Naughty
yeah.
Dog hasn't really done open
No,
world
they
stuff
they
too
they
much.
do like linear open world. You know, what I mean, like
Yeah,
it's
they do
open
sort
world,
of
but a
like
very
it's like open
Sections.
design in
yes,
terms of
open
you can make
sections.
choices. And I mean, there was like an open-ish section in Last of Us Part 2.
Mhm.
You
There are a
go
few of
like
them,
it's
yeah.
one of yeah, that was kind of my least favorite part of the game, to be honest. That
Yeah.
with the map and you kind of had those locations you can go to. It
Yeah.
was fine, but
Mm.
on repeat playthroughs, it's a bit of a drag. Especially because like the first time it was kind of fun exploring, but when you play it multiple times, it's like, okay, I know exactly where to go. I know to go to bank. I know to go to the pet shop to get all the
Mhm.
collectibles or whatever. Like it's just not
It doesn't have that feeling
that
of exploration.
exciting.
You're going
No,
around and
exactly. It's not because once you've explored it, it's explored. Like that's
explore.
yeah.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, I think I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if how I would feel about a Naughty Dog Superman game.
Yeah, but yeah,
I
I
kind of
don't
want
know.
them to do something gritty but also fun. Like, I think, they've gotta use those gore systems, from
Oh
Last of
yeah,
Us, but
oh yeah.
I don't want them to do, like, another depressing kinda game. I think I
Mm,
want them to do something a
I
little
think
lighter.
I think the boys is a good one. I think the boys is a good shout. That's
Yeah.
just such dark humor. I think could work great. Like
Now what about this? What if they're doing a fantasy game, but the deal was that HBO gets The Last of Us, and Naughty Dog gets Game of Thrones, and they do a Game of
game of
Thrones game,
Ooh.
you know? What if that was a back in the backroom deal going on? Probably very unlikely, that definitely
Mm.
did not happen.
Yeah.
But I think that would
I
be
am
I think Naughty Dog could do like a Game of Thrones game.
off the cusp. I'm thinking that like I'm not even thinking about like if the deal went through or not. I think that could be a great game. The likelihood of
Obviously,
that
I
deal
don't want
going
them
through.
to follow anything to do with the story of
Yeah.
Game of
Yeah,
Thrones.
Exactly.
yeah.
Do something totally separate. Do like
Mm,
maybe the first time the White Walkers, like the Long Night, like
mm,
the very beginning of history in
Yeah. Just don't
Westeros.
touch anything that we've seen
Just
before.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
be
Just
very far away from Game of
leave that
Thrones.
parasite to its own thing. That's yeah.
Exactly. Do something totally separate with new characters and
Hmm.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I think that could be cool, but
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. It's funny, like when I think about a new Naughty Dog game, it's weird for me to picture like something new, because I feel like I've been
Yeah.
playing. I mean,
So many
since
like.
Uncharted and Last of Us, like they're shooters. Like I've been playing Naughty Dog shooters since
Hmm.
2009 at this point, so it'd be interesting.
Hmm.
I do think I haven't added it here, but there was a rumor that there's like the next Sony conference, the PlayStation conference that happens in June this year, is going to be the big one where they start announcing like the next slate of games. Because if
Mm,
you think about it, like when they announced the PS5, a lot of the games they announced there were about to reach the end of that,
mhm,
where
mhm,
Spider-Man 2 is sort of the end, and the Wolverine after that as well. Like
mhm.
those are the kind of like the last two games that they've announced that PlayStation's announced that haven't come out yet. So once those are out, like there's nothing. Like
Yeah.
we don't know what the Ghost of Tsushima devs are doing. We
Mhm.
don't know what Blue Point's doing. We don't know what Naughty Dog's doing. Insomniac, or obviously Insomniac's we've got
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
2.
and Wolverine.
Mhm.
But they do have a third team. Insomniac has the team that did Ratchet and Clank. So there's a lot of devs at PlayStation that don't have announced games at the moment.
Mhm.
So I think it's time for like a big blowout
Big announcement.
to
Yeah.
get people excited. And I think
Mhm.
you could see Naughty Dog's game there. I think
Yeah.
that's because even if it isn't necessarily Last of Us, I think people hearing, they've watched the TV show now. They know Naughty Dog as a developer. I think like if they've looked into it and seen Last of Us developed by Naughty Dog, when they
Mhm.
see a new Naughty Dog game, that's exciting to them. Even just being tangentially connected to the TV show.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I think it's a similar situation like a Rockstar. If Rockstar brought a new IP, I think people would be like, it's still a Rockstar game. It's still gonna be like lit. It's gonna be really good. Why did I say lit, dude? What the
It's
fuck
gonna be
was
lit,
that?
dude.
It's
Fucking
gonna be
lit, man.
Gen-Zing out the wazoo.
Just Gen-Z.
Do you think Rockstar is ever going to do a new IP, or do you think you're going to be like 60 years old when they announce
I
one?
think it's gonna be on my deathbed, and I'm gonna hear about it, and it's just that's it. That's
They
it.
make a
That's
way money off those two.
yeah.
It's so sad to think that like Red Dead 3 will probably be in like 15 years.
Yeah. Like
It's gonna be so far away.
Because
Yeah,
they're going
we're
to
gonna
be
be-
milking
We're gonna be
GTA
fucking
5 and
40
6
years
for
old.
all it's
Yeah,
worth.
exactly.
Yeah,
Bro. We're gonna be
GTA
40
we're
years
gonna-
old playing Red Dead.
we're gonna hear
Sorry.
GTA 6, like when you hear that happen, right? And that's gonna be 15 years, and then Red Dead 3 is finally gonna happen, right? Yeah, like it's
Do you
just
think GTA 6 will come out before the next consoles? Or are we going to see GTA
Yes, no,
5
it has.
again?
I
Okay,
think
before the PS5 Pro, probably not.
no.
Yeah, no,
I
definitely not.
think
Before the
I-
PS6 and like Xbox
I could
740
see
or whatever the fuck.
I could see GTA 6 coming out
Was it-
2026, 2025, 2026.
Wasn't the
I-
rumor that it was when they do the announced trailer, it's gonna say like 2024, but internally they're thinking it's more likely 2025.
Mm.
There was
could see
a rumor
that.
last year about that.
I could see that. I could see that.
We'll probably get an announcement this year, right?
I
think?
hope.
At the end of this year, we get a GTA 6 announcement.
Yeah,
They
I
d-
hope.
Dude, could you imagine they did like what they did for Red Dead 2, where they just I remember I was on Twitter and all of a sudden I like press refresh and it was just Rockstar tweeted the Rockstar logo but with the Red Dead art style of like the
Oh.
black on red,
Yeah.
and everyone knew like,
They
oh
just lost
shit,
their
it's
shit.
Red
Yeah.
Dead 2.
Yeah.
And then every day they showed like a new part, like key art thing of like they'd show like horses in the background, then they'd show like a character silhouette, and then they finally released the trailer, and then they were like, oh, it's coming out 2017.
Mhm.
And then it came out in end of
A year
2018.
later. Yeah, a year
exactly.
later.
Rockstar is very good at delaying games.
Yeah.
But they're very good at making them.
They are very good at making them.
They are really
fuck
good
it
at
up.
making them. No, they really don't.
I will say I'm a little disappointed that GTA 6 is going to be Vice City and it looks like part of Florida. So we're not going to get like a big cityscape, you know?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna. One thing that like everyone was saying is they wanted like people and this is like an impossible task to do, but they wanted them to combine maps, like have like maps combined.
Grand Theft Auto Worlds.
Yes,
I remember that was a rumor for GTA
that was-
5. Is that
yeah.
they actually that was a rumor for GTA 6 too.
it
They
was.
They said that
yeah.
GTA Online the idea was that they were gonna release the Vice City map
I don't
and then
mind it for
slowly
online.
add.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind
slowly-
it for online.
Oh
I-
yeah, it wouldn't be single player. It would be
Mm.
like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this year we're releasing the expansion.
Yeah.
We're releasing the the Los Santos map pack or whatever.
That'd be sick. That would be sick.
Remaster
Mm.
Los Santos in like the GTA 5, GTA
Look,
6
we-
upgraded engine or whatever.
We know GTA 6 is going to be good. We know it's going to be good.
Yeah,
I
maybe it'll
wonder-
be shit. Who knows?
Oh, it's
Maybe it'll be woke and everyone's gonna hate it. You know.
yeah, true.
I'm playing as a woman. Could you see that leak? Can't
Oh,
fucking
d-
believe
oh,
it.
true.
Yeah,
Can't believe it, bro. Can't
Cannot
believe
believe it.
I don't have penis.
I don't feel represented. Where's the straight white male character?
Yeah,
I haven't
dude.
played enough of them in video games.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be
Come on,
Yeah.
it's Rockstar. Like they
It's
don't fuck up. They haven't made
Yeah.
a bad game ever.
Yeah.
Even
the
table tennis
only-
was good.
The,
Rockstar
the
Table
Yeah,
only,
that's right.
the
Yeah, I forgot
only
about that.
thing, the only thing that was like not seen in good light was the remaster of San Andreas. Like
Oh well, yeah, but
That
to be
was
fair, that
a-
was a separate developer.
Yeah.
that was a separate, but still, like it was under.
They were
Rockstar name.
the devs that ported the San Andreas to mobile.
Oh, was it?
They were the
Okay,
same
I didn't know it was
developers,
that
yeah.
bad. I didn't know it was that bad. Okay.
I don't blame it on the developers though. I think they just weren't. It wasn't ready, and they
Yeah.
and then Take Two was like, release it. We
Yeah.
need to make GTA money. We only made $100 million this month on GTA Online, not 200 million.
Wasn't that like PC pack like a port of the mobile game? Like
Was
all
it
of
actually?
the
It wasn't even.
Oh my god,
It was a port of a port.
yeah.
it's
It
really
was a
funny.
remaster of the mobile games.
That's like
Um,
that's like Google translating something and translating it
Yeah.
again. Like,
It was pretty busted.
yeah, it's man, so disappointing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also made me realize those GTA games did not hold up.
Not really.
Not really. I played San
It's all,
Andreas.
it's all nostalgia.
Yeah,
Especially, I
that's-
mean, San Andreas held up the most for me.
Yeah.
But
It's the most
holy
recent.
shit, dude, GTA 3, man, oh my
It's
god,
pretty busted.
some of the mission design is so bad.
yeah.
It was like Tail the truck, but then the AI was so bad that the truck would just go off the edge and blow
Yeah.
up, and then it would restart the
Mission failed.
mission. Like because the AI fucked up. Dude, there's so many clips of me raging at that game because of how frustrating it was.
And
Because the
enemies
AI
would
was
just like
dog
be
shit.
stiff and then one tap.
Bro, the final mission, man. It took me. It was like I was fucking running a Master Nightfall in Destiny, bro. Like
I remember.
I was like crouching behind barrels, like properly
But you're
fucking
straight
going
up
tactical.
cheesing that shit.
Yeah, I had to go long
Yeah.
range and just like snipe them because they every time I got close to them, they would just go, oh.
Because like there's
Kill
no
me immediately.
animation, they're just from stiff to
It really was like the immediate like.
you don't know when they're gonna pull out a gun.
Yeah. Oh
That's
my
great.
god.
That's great. Oh.
Luckily, GTA 4 onwards has been a good time.
Mhm.
And GTA 6 is gonna, they're gonna kill it.
It's
But
gonna kill
yeah, I think there's probably it's likely that we'll get an announcement this year,
Yeah, 100%.
and then wait a couple years.
Yeah,
Dude, that game is gonna sell so well.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine like the
gonna.
hype? Because like even GTA 5 when it came out made like $1 billion in a day or 3
Yeah.
days.
Yeah,
It was
I
like a
remember. I remember the hype when GTA 5.
Was it? Yeah, it was $1
first
billion
came
in a
out.
weekend. That's right.
I remember the hype that game had when it first came out. Like there was news articles. There was like everyone was talking about. That was the game that everyone was talking about. Like
That's
no
the
matter
time.
Oh no.
Oh
He's
no!
died.
I thought that was me.
My internet died for a second.
Now he's framing.
I thought that was
Oh
me.
my
Oh dude,
God.
hold on,
Bro,
I wanna
why
look
is
back
my
on that.
internet so bad?
He's back. He's pretty good.
I want to
What
look back on
happened?
that because I thought my internet died. Like my face dropped. I was like,
Bro,
oh,
everyone just stopped moving. I was like, oh no. What,
just went,
what was the last thing I said?
shit.
GTA 5 something when it
something about
released.
GTA 5.
Yeah, when it released, we both took a day off school. Remember that?
Yeah.
I did as well.
Not
I did as
sus at all.
well.
Like
Yeah,
the day
Not
GTA
sus.
5 came out.
I wonder how many people took a day off school because I did as well. I wonder how many people that
I don't
did.
remember anyone at our school taking a day off.
A lot of people in my school did.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure a bunch of people
There were
did.
12 of us and 2 of us did it.
No, but I mean, like in yeah, exactly. Yeah, like yeah, it was a class of what 12 or 14,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and 2 people took the day off.
There was at
2013.
my school. What happened was there was a lot. So many kids took a day off that apparently like the teacher at the school was like, "Is something going on today? Like, what is this
Yep.
going around?" Like yeah, and
Something's
apparently
going
they
around,
learned,
alright.
apparently
Yeah.
they learned eventually that GTA 5 came out because one of the other
It would have been hard to
teachers-
learn.
Yeah, one of the other teachers knew about it coming up because their kid was playing it, right?
Yep.
So they learned about it. Apparently, it just got around to school, and yeah, it was just an entire thing. It was very funny.
Do you remember you Jamie, you had to purchase GTA 5 for a classmate?
I never ended up doing it though.
Oh, you didn't? Oh,
Never
I
ended
thought
up
you did.
having to do it. No, I didn't have to do it because I don't know what he. I think he just paid someone to do it for
Yeah,
him.
probably.
Like the equivalent of like being outside of
buy
like a
me
liquor
alcohol.
store. Yeah, could you buy me alcohol, but buy me GTA 5 because
Almost as
it was
illegal.
R18 plus and he couldn't buy it himself.
Yeah.
Bro,
I
it
guess
was-
his parents wouldn't.
No, his parents wouldn't say yes, but Jamie, my parents were like, yeah, whatever. We were
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, exactly. Of
Dude,
course.
it was so funny. I had to finesse my dad to get it for me. I was there. I was like, "Gee, no worries, it's not that bad. You like the sports and whatnot. You like play tennis and stuff like that." I went around all of the drugs and guns.
Skip the strip
Bro,
club part.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
unskippable torture scene though was a bit
That was a bit
taboo.
much.
I mean, to be honest, that wasn't even the worst thing I played that year. I played Last of Us that year. Like,
Yeah,
that game was
That torture scene. was
both
pretty-
R18 plus
That
games.
torture scene was pretty bad, but yeah.
I remember when there was no R18 plus classification
Australia.
on games. There was
Oh,
a bunch
yeah.
of games that got banned here. They were
Yeah,
like, oh,
exactly.
it's too
It's
bad
like
for MA15
gone.
plus.
They still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did it for like
It's
the South
when-
Park games.
It's when they're
Oh, I remember
like
that, yeah.
gratifying taking drugs. That
Yeah, or
crosses the
sexual
line for them.
assault.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, which is fair. I
It's
understand.
like Hotline Miami
Yeah.
2 banned here, never came out.
Mhm.
Never released in Australia.
Mhm.
Which sucks because Whole Army 1 was really good. But yeah, I
Like
never.
We Happy
and
Few got banned as well because you take drugs
because of
and
the
that makes you
drugs, yeah.
enhanced. Yeah.
Yeah.
It but then they reclassified and they were like, oh, our mistake. It's not like a positive thing. It's not meant
Yeah.
to be seen as positive.
Yeah, it's a bad thing.
They have gotten better at it, but recently, like even last year, there was one that got banned for a little bit because it was oh man, what was it? Hold on, let me look at my Steam list real quick.
Splatoon.
No, yeah, Splatoon 3 got banned. No, it was Disco Elysium.
That's right.
That's right. Yes.
Because games that release on the Steam marketplace don't have to be classified here, which is interesting.
It's very interesting.
Because
You bought it years ago, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bought it when it came out basically.
Ages
And
ago.
then when it eventually came to console, obviously to be sold on store shelves, it needs to be classified here. And so they classified it, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, we're banning this."
No.
Did
So
it
then
get
it got
banned on
taken off
Steam too?
It got taken off the Steam
Yeah,
store for a
So
little
it
bit,
came to light. Yeah.
and then the publisher was like, "Hey guys, like this is fine."
Yeah.
And then the classification was, "Oh, it's actually not a positive." Like once again, they look at it and see like, "Oh, you can take drug."
Yeah,
That
because they obviously
bad?
don't play the game. They just read
Yeah.
the sheet of paper.
Well, I
and
think
they're
the way
like,
classification works is like the developer just sends them like the possible things that might
Yeah.
get ticks.
Yeah.
But the thing is that a lot of developers don't realize how strict the Australian classification board is.
Mhm.
So if you just put in can take coke, they'll be like, can take coke.
Yeah.
It's attributed to you
I
get
was-
benefits from that.
I would love if the devs I put in like can do drugs and in brackets just in all caps bad. Like
It's a
just
bad
like...
thing. But for straight
Yeah.
up gambling, that's okay.
Yeah,
Vape is
gambling is
good.
fine.
Gambling's fine.
Yeah.
Intense, crazy fucking violence.
Mm.
Okay,
Fine.
now
Gotta love
totally
it.
fine for the
Mm.
R18.
Yeah.
If you have any scenes of sexual assault or drugs, and it wasn't even like scenes of like conducting sexual assault, which I understand why that would get banned.
Yes.
It was just a scene of sexual assault.
Mm.
But you know what's really unusual? We don't have those same rules for movies at
No.
all.
No,
Nope,
movies are
there's
very different.
tons of sexual assault scenes in movies. Well,
Yep.
not tons,
Lot.
but you know what I mean. Like I've
Tons.
seen a
Tons,
sexual
bro.
assault.
Every movie.
I've seen
Bro.
a sexual assault scene here and there. You know,
Bro, Ant-Man and the Wasp, huge. Like
Tons.
Jesus, why would Ant-Man do that? Why did
Bro,
he go
man's going
small?
wild. Like
Thanos wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Damn. You stress dropped.
But yes,
Yeah,
it is definitely double standard when it comes to video game classification.
100%.
Anyway,
Anyway,
so
yeah,
so far off topic, but that's fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna kill some time here, you know.
Yeah. What we've been playing. Nathan, you want to start?
Yeah, Nathan,
I
tell us
did.
what you've
I
been
did
playing.
actually start playing a game. I just remembered when we started talking about it. Actually,
Okay.
I started. It's a game that I have played before, but I
It's fun.
don't think we've talked about it as a game that we've played on the podcast.
Okay,
That's
go.
all that matters.
I started playing The Last of Us Part 2 again.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we
Mm.
we haven't actually full on talked about this. No, yeah.
Yeah. So
How are you enjoying it?
I mean, yeah. Look, I
No, I hate it.
I
It's a
played
good
This is
video
my
game.
third playthrough. I
Yeah.
played it once on PS4 and once on PS5.
Mhm.
I'm playing it again. Yeah, just straight off the back of the show, I was like, I need to keep going with the story.
Yes,
I gotta
that is
keep
fair
going.
enough.
Can't stop. It's still really good, but because I played Red Dead 2 really recently, the animations and the graphics are just like that little bit worse, and it's kind of like aged a little bit since I last played it.
Damn, and
That's
that's
real
crazy
weird.
because this came out after.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird.
There you go.
I think Rockstar's just that good.
Yeah, I think
I will say I actually agree with you on some of the texture detail
Mm.
is definitely lower
100%. Yeah.
than I remember it being.
Yeah.
I didn't notice the animations though. I feel like the animation's pretty but maybe compared to Red Dead, I can see the
Yeah,
idea.
definitely
I mean,
compared
Red
to
Dead
Red
is
Dead,
very
but
much
they're-
like
yeah.
very minute,
Yeah.
and also like this game has to run like you need to. It's fast paced, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's very the animations don't work the same. You can't
Totally.
intermingle them as easy. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I
it's
can
still
actually
great.
see that though. Yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. I am enjoying it. It's like we were talking about before, the open world bits are a little monotonous when you've done them 2 times already, and it's like, yeah, I know exactly where to go. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it so I can get my medication so I can upgrade my character.
Yes, yeah,
basically.
exactly.
And my screws so I can upgrade.
Are you doing
the
New Game
guns.
Plus at this point?
No, I decided to just do it again because I didn't want to
Okay.
start with all of the shit.
That's fair
I wanted
enough.
to slowly work my way into getting the weapons again.
That's a good point. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah, because otherwise I think I fully upgraded everything last time, and I feel like going in again. I don't know. It's harder in New Game Plus, isn't it?
Yeah, it is so if you like normal versus normal plus, yeah,
Hmm.
normal plus is a little bit harder. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably get a bit destroyed because I'm not that good at console games.
I really hope that part 2 comes to PC at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got it right. Like,
A note that I really like about Last of Us Part 2 is their custom difficulty settings.
really good.
Yeah, really good. I went in and set it where it was like, yeah, I want some hard, but like I didn't want the hard setting for my like friendly AI because the hard setting for the friendly AI is like where they just basically miss all their shots or they don't kill anyone. But it's like
Right.
I want to feel like I have a living person contributing to this battle.
Yeah,
so
no,
I
that
put them
makes
down to
sense.
normal.
Actually, yeah, that's cool. I never thought about. I never messed with the custom settings just because I was like, I think my second playthrough I played on hard,
Hmm.
so I just played on base hard, like everything. But yeah, that's actually really cool. I forgot that yeah, the AI just doesn't shoot at all when
Yeah,
you
it
up
just
it above
doesn't.
normal. It's just
Yeah.
like we want you to do the entire encounter. We're
Yeah.
not going to help you.
Because I
So
did my last one on hard as well, and it was just it was painful. Like the AI just sits there, just like blind firing over cover, doing nothing.
so how far into it? I like you're probably not very far
2
at this
hours.
point.
Yeah, I just
2
got
hours.
past
Yeah.
this section, this first Seattle section. Like that tiny little square before Shimmer dies.
I'm actually looking forward to playing through this again. I'm gonna
Yeah.
wait for part 1 on PC, play that, see how that runs and plays, and then go into part 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, fantastic game.
It's a good game. Always will be.
Always will be. Haters
Game of
gonna
the
hate.
century.
Game of the century.
And also, I saw a quote
Yeah.
off the back of the new season. Neil Druckmann made a comment to people who didn't
I
like.
saw this.
Yeah. His quote to people who don't like The Last of Us Part 2, Neil Druckmann quote, I don't care.
Yeah. And to be fair, that quote is a little unfair because I listened to this. It was the same spoiler cast like that Kind of Funny did with him, where he talked about part 3 and what Naughty Dog might be working on. And it wasn't exactly like him saying, I
Yeah,
don't care.
I
But
don't care,
he
yeah.
sort of like, yeah, but it was funny. Like, that's the like IGN Twitter quote was
Yeah,
like,
I
just
don't
in
care.
bold text, I don't care.
I don't care.
It's like, I love it. No, and he shouldn't care, right?
No,
Like,
no.
yeah, I mean, that's just not, the game sold well. It's going to get a part 3 at some point. It doesn't matter what people think about it.
And yeah, don't even
Um,
if you don't recognize the stupid hate, the reasons people hate it, then they don't exist because
I
they're stupid
actually-
reasons.
My one more thing is almost on the back of that. I got some negative reviews of The Last of Us season 1 TV show,
Ooh.
and I picked out the least homophobic ones to go through.
Least.
But I went to Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic and went by negative and just found a few I brought out because I think they are incoherent and stupid and I
Love
want to
it.
make fun of them.
Some
I
good ones
love
for episode 3 though.
Oh, you wait, you fucking
Okay.
wait. Oh man, it's so good. Hey Soto, you want to talk about
Let's do it.
so obviously this has sort of been an ongoing discussion about Destiny 2.
It's
right?
already asleep.
This is the final segment of
This
us
is the
talking
final
about this because this is the final piece of the puzzle, right?
Mhm.
That
Which is the
cap.
raid. No, it is. It's
No.
it's definitely the last time we talk about this, at least from
For a little bit.
from the
For a little bit.
campaign, from the expansion perspective.
Yes.
You know, seasonal stuff will still happen, but that's new content to talk about. You know, so Seto, why don't you go first? How did you feel about the Root of Nightmares Lightfall raid?
So I'm gonna put some context quickly because basically in Destiny there is a day one experience that you can do, day one contest. Okay, now Jamie and I did not do the day one contest. We didn't want to. However, this was the for context of how this raid went. There was more completions in this raid and day one than every other raid day one combined.
Yes.
So this raid was seen that way, and there's been a lot of debate about people going out and saying that this raid is too easy and that the day one it was too easy to do day one, and people are flailing about it. I don't care personally. There's a lot of elitists
I'm in
that
the
are
same boat. Yeah.
There's a lot of elitists who are being like, it's too easy. Like
Ben,
too many people
quote,
complete it."
I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Same camp.
The raid itself, It's fun. It's fun. There's some glitches. There are definitely some issues with the raid. There are some
Yeah.
bad issues, especially in the second encounter. The mechanics are quite simple. Like they are like Jay, when we did it first time, we got it pretty quickly. Like we very
Oh yeah.
quickly got how the mechanics work.
I mean,
But
it only I would say our attempts at the encounters maybe took. I think maybe the fourth encounter took like the final encounter took us the longest.
yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
Just because essentially the raid revolves around this sort of the same kind of uh mechanic, which is shoot orb,
Mhm.
take that buff to another orb, shoot that orb, go back to the previous orb, shoot that, and then do that and make a line essentially. That's
Yeah.
the mechanic. That is the core
Mhm.
mechanic of the raid. Super simple, not very difficult. And it's kind of I don't know, it does remind me of a dungeon mechanic, which
It does.
for
It's
those uninitiated with Destiny, dungeons are sort of like 3-player raids essentially.
mini
They've
raids.
got a simpler mechanic. They're more kind of replayable and they have their own kind of loot pool and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so I will say I really, really, really enjoy this raid. I think it's
I think it's
super
fun.
fun. I think it's a really fun time. I do agree that now that contest is over, the contest mode where the game they essentially scale you, they cap you at a certain light to make it harder.
Mhm.
Now that that's turned off and I can use my full like 20 light above the final boss, it is very easy.
Mhm.
It's very much a breeze. And especially I've really felt that once because I did a run of the previous raid from last year and comparing like Vow of the Disciple to Root of Nightmare is like, man, okay, Vow is like an actual raid. This is
Mm.
like
The
just it's very simple. I'm not sure what the whole design kind of principle behind it was. And I think it's maybe Bungie really wanting to make this game more accessible to a wider audience and get people feeling comfortable going to an LFG if they don't have friends to play Destiny.
Mhm.
And I think from an LFG perspective, this raid is probably the most accessible, where you
Mhm.
can just jump into a group of 6.
And the
And
racing
even if you
car
don't
races,
know
yeah.
the mechanics, there's a lot of it is based around ad clearing.
Mhm.
So a lot of people that are very new to raiding can kind of experience the raid, get loot, but not necessarily contribute a whole lot if they don't want to, which
Mhm.
I'm overall kind of fine with. Um, I will say though, like from an art perspective,
It's
this raid is
beautiful.
gorgeous, man.
It
Like
is
this is probably the best looking
beautiful.
raid I think Bungie's ever done. I really do.
Mhm. Mhm.
I love the kind of the fusion of the pyramid kind of darkness aesthetic mixed with the traveler's light and creating life.
Mhm.
There's
Mhm.
definitely story elements as to why this has happened.
Mhm.
Which I also think is cool. Like I think it's
Yeah,
cool.
actually
Like
having
there's
story
a cool
reasons.
like central story to this raid as well, which I like.
Mhm.
But yeah, like the art team fucking they went
They
off.
always do. They
They
always do.
went
Like
and they always do, but I think they really
mhm.
they fucked on this.
What
They
what
really
I
did.
what I love about this raid is that when you start, now you see this a couple times, but this raid is probably one of the biggest. Where you start in the raid, you actually are on the opposite side to the boss arena. So basically, what you're doing is kind of doing a trek, and you're constantly following. And apparently, what's really cool about the raid is that each encounter is basically a different portion of throughout the final boss's life. Right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to basically, since it only came out, I'm trying to say without really spoiling what the final boss is because it is kind of cool. But
Well, they're about to see the health bar where it says the name of the boss. To be fair,
that is a good point. They are about to see it. Well, I'll say it
it's
anyway.
fine. It's
It's Nezarec.
Nezarec, which is a name that if you play Destiny, Nezarec has come up quite often. There are some
Mhm.
exotics that have his name in it. There's some lore. He's been around for a while.
He's
I
been
don't
around for a
actually, to be fair, I don't know much about this dude. This
Yeah,
guy, this bro, this man,
this
this
man.
beast, this chonk
Yeah.
lord.
Mhm.
Don't know much about him, but I've
But,
heard, I've got his name is on one of my exotics, and
yeah,
so I
exactly. So
immediately
you
was like,
know.
"Oh, cool, I know that." But you can see Nathan here, like you can see the mechanic where they're just shooting the orb, like that's
Mhm.
the this is what starts damage. So it's not difficult at all.
This
It
is
the
the
really the
coolest looking raid that I've seen.
Oh yeah,
It
it's
looks
as I said,
really
art
good.
team they nailed it. Like, but
Mhm.
I just think mechanics really do kind of let it down a little bit.
It does. It does.
Um,
I am happy to have an easier raid, right? Like
yeah,
Overworld
like
is one of my favorites just because of how easy and how chill it actually is. However, it's like I for being like the second last raid in the saga, I think it is a little
Well,
bit of like
technically third last. We are getting a reprise raid this year as well,
that's
but
true.
second
That's
last
true.
new raid. Sure.
Second last new raid. So
there'll be someone in the comments being like, actually, this is the third last because
Yeah.
I just wanted to correct you before that fuckhead says anything. Fuck you, fuckhead.
I do hope that the final shape, that raid, just kind of knocks it out of the park. You know what I mean? I do kind of hope
They have
because
to,
like
right?
you have to. It's the final raid. You got to do it, right?
I hope they make it brutally difficult so that no one can complete it.
Exactly.
I
Day
want
one,
no
just make it-
completions day one.
No,
I want
make
people
it.
to be crying. So
Mhm.
that we
Just
can just
cry
we can
shitting
just
coming.
flip to the other side where it's like day one completions literally nil. No one
Yeah,
does it.
I want to see people cry shitting come at the day one raid.
Jesus. Um,
No, but yeah, overall I think it's a good raid. I think it's an aesthetic. It's great. I think the mechanics are a little bit too easy, but it's still fun nonetheless. I still the actual the way the encounters are laid out, I do enjoy. Like second and third encounter are really fun. We have to jump between the platforms in the second encounter.
super
The third
fun.
encounter being about the planets, actually line up the planets and whatnot. I think that's really sick.
Oh, dude, actually, I gotta show the planet room for a second
Yeah,
because that
quickly show
is
the planet room.
that's definitely the best looking encounter. Let me find
Mhm.
it. Where is it? Where's this planet encounter?
Yeah, I think sorry. It's
Oh, this is
before this. It's before this.
no, it's
This
after
is
this, isn't it? Oh,
Is
here.
it? Oh,
Yeah,
it
here
is.
we go.
Yeah, here we
Yeah,
go.
so
Basically, the planet encounter, what you're doing is that there's basically 4 separate plates, and what you're doing is that you get the people on the plates will get a certain buff when they kill an enemy. They will see that some planets are light and dark, and you're basically lining up the planets to the sides of light and dark. And that's how you
yeah, I honestly the mechanics once again are pretty simple for this,
very simple.
but the look of the room is cool
the
with the
look is
planets, and you're literally
great.
moving planets.
It's really sick. It's
Um,
really sick.
It's a
And
really cool idea. The boss is cool.
mhm.
Um, I guess final thoughts. You know, I don't think there's a lot to talk about here necessarily. I think there's a lot of controversy around the difficulty of the raid. I
Mhm.
think it is very ironic and funny that Bungie had like a blog where they said bringing difficulty back to Destiny,
And this is
and they
probably one of
released the easiest
raids.
raid in the history of Destiny.
Yeah, probably one of
That
the
is
easiest
very
raids.
ironic and funny. But
Mhm.
you know, maybe Master Mode makes this more difficult. Which, for those who don't know, Master Mode is just like essentially contest, but they add some more champions. So
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
not going to be that much harder.
Mhm.
And you're capped permanently. You can't
Yeah.
go above that at all. And there'll be challenges as well. So like there is more to come for the raid, but
Mhm.
the overall experience is, I'd say, mechanically underwhelming, but from a art and like just being in the raid perspective, it's really
It's
fucking
really
cool.
good. Yep.
And I
Exactly.
like the boss.
Yep.
And
Possible.
there was one more thing I was gonna say, but I've totally
Mhm.
forgotten it.
Uh,
And I guarantee at the end of this podcast, I'm gonna remember it and be like, "Fuck."
the one thing I was quickly
Oh
say.
yeah, and
Oh
sorry,
yeah. Yeah.
I heard it.
Mhm.
I've got it.
I heard it.
In my head. I heard it. The voices. Um, the fact that this is one of the easier raids means that I'm probably more likely to do 3 completions a week now on it because it's not
Yes.
going to be that. It's going to get easier. It's going to be we're going to get through it quicker. So that's cool. I like that.
Mhm.
I like that it's I feel like multiple completions are doable. And also, I feel like Seto, you and me could do a 2-man on this as well.
Yeah, probably. I
Because
can see
low
it.
mans are possible on this raid, which I also appreciate
Mhm.
from like a difficulty perspective. You know, you can
Yeah.
add that. You can kind of make the difficulty yourself. So
I'd be down to 2, man. What do you got? The one thing I will say, Val Disciple did this raid did this. I love the final boss moving around. I love that so much. I think that's so cool. And it's a different dynamic except for big guy stand there scary. He actually feels threatening because he's
the
chasing.
unfortunate part about the boss is that you can get him bugged on the platform.
You can't, but that's just a bug. That's different. That's
That
different.
is a bug, and maybe they'll fix it. But you know,
Yeah,
we've been able to do cheese Riven for 5 years. So
yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I do love that. I think that's really cool. The Destiny formula has always been big boss stand there, very scary. Shoot face. This one actually, there's a lot more dynamic in what
I
you
do
can do.
appreciate them switching it up a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what how this community kind of discussion translates to difficulty when it comes to the future 2 raids before the end of the Light and Dark Saga. I
Yeah,
wonder if it
exactly.
will change or if Bungie's just happy with more people completing the raid and
Yeah,
enjoying
because
Destiny. Like I think at the end of the day, that's probably what matters most to Bungie
Mhm,
is that more people are engaging with the game.
mhm.
I actually do want to quickly bring up the reviews for this game just quickly
Oh yeah,
because I
because
do think it's funny.
your fantasy critic got us shut down.
Well, yeah, so that's true. That's disappointing. That sucks. But I think it's funny that like I don't necessarily think I would give this expansion overall a 6 out of 10
No, I
because the only disappointing part for me has been
the
the
campaign.
campaign,
I
but only from a story perspective. The actual gameplay was great. So it's
Yeah.
literally just the story of this game. I personally wouldn't put it that low. But
I said I put this in chat. I said I would give it about probably an 82, 83. I think it would be around there. I would give it around there.
yeah, I think it's landing around an 8 for me as well. If I
Yeah,
was gonna score it anyway, I think Witch Queen's better though.
Witch King is definitely better. Witch King is definitely better. I think the gameplay of Lightfall is great. I think that people are very much underestimating how good the gameplay of Lightfall actually is.
Just
Like
the new subclass, man. They nailed it.
Strand is great.
There's so many
Strand
parts
is-
that there's so many parts of this game that they like, just the core kind of the parts that I would say kind of matter, where it's the parts that you're going to continually engage with over the 100, 200,000 hours that you'll play this expansion.
Mhm.
That's the parts that they really focused on
Yeah.
for this
Yeah.
expansion. So that's
Mhm.
I mean, that's great. That means I'm more likely to stick with it, as opposed to Witch Queen, where I did kind of, once I did my first vow completion, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a
Yeah,
break now.
exactly.
But I don't feel like taking like at least a lot. Like, I'm gonna slow down on the Destiny a little
Yeah,
bit.
Like-
But I'm not gonna stop. You
Yeah.
know, like I
Like,
did
I'm
with
enjoying
Witch
doing
Queen.
seasonal stuff. I haven't enjoyed seasonal stuff in a long time. This season, I'm actually enjoying. So
Yeah,
yeah, like,
there's a lot to like about Destiny.
it's really good right
Lightfall.
now. Mhm.
And I think I think maybe the way reviewers review is
A little
kind
bit
of
too
counterintuitive to how Destiny works as a game.
correct. Correct.
And it
But
only
yeah,
worked for Witch Queen because
a good campaign.
of the campaign. Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyways, that's our thoughts on Destiny.
The
That's the
camera
last
has
time you're
panned
gonna
away. What a shame.
that's the last
no,
time you're
yeah.
gonna hear about it.
For at
And
least a couple of
ever.
weeks.
For at least a couple weeks.
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
weeks on, 1 week off.
Exactly. Alrighty.
Guys, it's
top
time
100.
to build the 100.
Yep.
We are going to build the 100.
Okay, let's get this up. Oh, I cannot full screen for some reason.
Ben, you can go first.
Want me to go first? I want to follow what Nathan did last week and go with nostalgia. I'm going to go with a game that I think is. I actually do think genuinely is a good game. I think you guys would agree. One of my favorite games. I'm going to put Left 4 Dead 2 on the list. I don't think it's going to be high on the list, but it's still one of my favorite games. I do generally think it's actually one of the top 100 games.
Is
of all
that
time.
4 is spelled with a 4?
Yeah,
I forgot.
Oh,
I was like, which way did it come up?
way.
Yeah. But no, I generally do think this is actually probably a top 100 game. I don't think it's gonna be high up there, but I do think it's definitely should.
Where are
be
you
in
gonna
the
put
top
it?
100 list.
Where you wanna put it?
I'm fine. Actually, I'm gonna put above Spore, but I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it like that.
I'd say it goes above Frostpunk.
I'd say it goes above Frostpunk.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Above
Under-
GTA 5.
Above GTA. I look Left 4 Dead 2. Do we count mods with Left 4 Dead 2? Do we count
No.
the modding?
Probably
community
not.
and stuff
No,
like that?
I'd say the core experience.
Just the core
Because
experience.
otherwise you'd have
No
to
Teletubbies.
incorporate like
Then-
the Elder Scrolls 5 mods and the
That's true.
GTA 5
Then I
mods.
would then I would leave it on the GTA. I think I
Okay.
don't think it's there, but
That's
yeah,
fair.
that's why I'll leave it.
That's fair. I would put this game on the list. I would
Yeah.
have put this on the list. I probably wouldn't have thought of it like this early, but it
Yeah.
would have ended up on the list for sure.
Here's the issue. How quickly I'll tell you guys I'm running into. Like, I don't have many games. Like, I'm looking through my list. There's not like I don't want to put like 50 Souls likes on the list. So like,
Yeah, definitely don't do that.
yeah. So that's my issue.
I've got
there's
enough
gotta
in
be
my
some
head to
older
complete my
games.
30.
Yeah, I've got plenty. I got
Yeah.
plenty.
Yeah.
I could add 30 and 30 more. You know, like
Yeah.
we can make this top 200.
Yeah.
Nathan, why don't you go?
All right. This
Where do you
week,
put it?
I'm adding Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
fair enough.
That's fair. That's fair.
And we'll call the remaster basically the same thing because it's like
Sure.
the game but better.
Yeah.
That's fine. Where are you gonna put
and
it?
I am going to put it probably there, just below Left 4 Dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'd
Man,
say so.
okay. I could see an argument for above Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe.
I think
I'm
above
thinking
Left 4 Dead.
Skyrim's in the wrong place now.
Yeah, no, same. I'm thinking of Skyrim's a little too
Where would you
high.
put Skyrim?
I think
Probably
Skyrim's
like
a little too high.
below GTA, maybe below
Skyrim
Left 4
below
Dead.
GTA? Below Left 4 Dead?
I think I would put Skyrim.
I don't think I would put Skyrim below Left 4 Dead 2.
This is where I would put it. I would put Metro Prime up, Skyrim down, but it's above Left 4 Dead. You know what I mean? So
Metro Prime above Left 4 Dead 2, Skyrim below GTA.
Boom.
that's actually where I would think. Yeah.
Okay, I that makes sense. I would even put Metro Prime above Nier Automata.
Oh yeah, actually I didn't say that. I would like to do that.
But, like,
Get rid of that.
It's a bit unfair to Nier Automata because 2 of us haven't played it. But,
yeah, that's true, yeah.
there are a lot of people that consider Metroid Prime one of the greatest games of all time.
I
So,
have heard
which
that.
I mean, there are people that consider Nier Automata one of the greatest games of all time. It's I mean, it's apples to oranges. Like it's hard to compare. Like
It's those. That's the one thing. Those two games are very different from each other.
Yeah.
Nier
But I will
Automata-
say Metroid Prime, in terms of like Metroidvania genre, like people say Metroid Prime is like the top, like the
top,
the best, the absolute best Metroidvania you can play.
It's the
So-
game that I have played through the most.
Mhm.
And like I usually don't go back to games that often, if at all. And I think I've played it like 6 times, so that's saying something.
Yeah.
I am gonna put Mass Effect 2 on the list.
No, okay. I need to take that off mine. That was one of the only games I was.
Mass
That's a good
Effect
one.
2
That's a good one.
absolutely belongs on this list. Go up the
Yeah.
list a little bit. I'm gonna put
Cool.
this decently high. Maybe not. I kind of want to put it at number 12 above Animal Crossing.
I can see. Oh, above Resident Evil 2? Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I can see it. Now I think about it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Mass Effect, because I know Nathan, you haven't played the Mass Effect trilogy.
Bits and pieces.
You played bits and pieces, yeah.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 2 is like, honestly, one of the best Western RPGs like ever made. Like, for the longest time, I feel like Japanese developers were killing the RPG game and killing it in a good way. And then Western devs were trying to like replicate that and not succeeding very well, I'd say, until Mass Effect and even KOTOR as well. But Mass Effect 2, I think, was like a turning point for made it a little more shooty, a little more third person shooter, but storytelling, characters, the suicide mission, music. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's all better than Mass Effect 1, and it's gonna go down in history. So I think it belongs on this list
Cool.
for sure.
Cool.
There
Okay.
we go.
Yeah.
That's good.
How many
I think we're
entries
at
do we have now?
21 now. 21?
Yep.
Yeah.
21?
Sure do.
Okay. Yeah, so we're nearly a quarter of the way.
Nearly a
We've
quarter
got
of the way.
so much more to go. That's awesome. Though.
Yeah.
How many episodes is it going to take for us to get to?
Well, if we do the the math on that, what's the math on that?
It's like
If it's 3 an episode, if we're doing 3 an
more.
episode, hold on,
To the end of the year, basically.
yeah.
I'll quickly do the math.
I think when
out.
I calculated it was because I calculated when we first started, it was going to be basically like one of the last episodes of the year or next year, the start of next year.
Cool. That's good timing then, actually.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay. I need to set up. I need to get one more thing. So
Set up, bro. He's gonna fucking build it.
yeah, I have to build it quickly. I need to grab it.
we can let
so,
your building stream.
I gotta
Yeah.
grab it.
Yeah, I need to
Just
grab
yet.
mine.
Okay,
So-
well, I'll just sit here and chill. How's it going?
I'm just here.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going somewhere.
We can-
How big is this thing, Seto?
Big.
Is it the Millennium Falcon?
No, I'm not. That was one of my later ones. So this one is actually an older one. Hold on.
Okay, we'll just set us first. We'll just set us first.
Yeah, he's doing it.
Another Ultimate
He's
Collection
doing it, whether we want it or
You
not.
don't give a fuck.
This one is the Ultimate Collector's Edition Imperial.
This is it. It's crashing.
Jesus.
Imperial shuttle.
Oh, so dope. I had one of those too. It was a mini one though, a little
Headset,
version.
please. There
Nice.
you go.
He's a DJ.
Yeah, dude. This is the Ultimate Collector's Edition Imperial shuttle.
Now,
This one is very.
Can the wings go up?
Yes, we can get on.
Hell yeah.
So I can't really.
I can
show
see
it.
the hinge.
Yeah, you
there
can
is
see
a
the
hinge there.
hinges.
It's
You can see
okay.
the
You don't
hinges.
have to modify it because I feel like
Yeah.
Break
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yep.
I don't
Yeah,
want you to drop it.
yeah, no, it's very good. It's extremely heavy.
Okay, Ben. What minifigs come with the Imperial shuttle?
Luke Skywalker. So I actually, do I have one?
Huh?
No, I don't.
Oh,
Yeah,
because
Luke-
I guess technically he is on the Imperial shuttle in Return of the Jedi at some point.
2 pilots, Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker. That's the 4 that comes with this.
Oh, I guess yeah. I guess Emperor Palpatine technically not on the Imperial shuttle.
Yep.
I'm picturing the scene where it's when Luke and Vader have a chat on Endor, and then they go
That
on the
is-
Imperial shuttle
I'm pretty
to the
yeah.
second Death Star
I'm pretty sure it's the
to Emperor Palpatine.
Yep,
That's the
So-
thing they're taking from. Yeah, okay, that's cool.
that's the idea. This is one of the more expensive ones that I have. This one I think
Really?
actually stopped.
How many pieces is it?
This
Fair.
one, I think I don't remember, to be honest. I do not remember too much about this one. I built this one. This was one of the first Ultimate Collection Edition I actually built. I built this back in 2012 or something. 2012,
Were
2013.
they really doing Ultimate Collector's Editions that early?
A long time. Yeah, they've been doing
Sure.
Ultimate Collection for a while. It then got bigger and bigger. Like this is one of the bigger ones they made. And I think this is one of the rarer ones now as well. This I think this model of it stopped being produced, and they have a newer one being produced.
It's that is not the right one.
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
You've got
Ultimate
another
Collector
three
Series.
piece.
It is $2,000.
Yep, 2000. Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Right, you could buy
and-
it. You could put down.
Oh, but
a
that's because
fucking-
this is limited now. That's why.
Yeah, it is limited.
It
now.
wasn't 2000 when it came out.
No.
I cannot find how many pieces this is.
When I bought this,
Man's about to get a deposit on the amount of Lego he owns. A
You
deposit
want
for
me
a
to
house.
actually? Do you want me? There's
Bro,
insurance on my
what
Lego.
the
I'm not kidding
fine
you.
how many
yeah.
pieces,
Yeah.
man.
I have enough Lego now that I actually have insurance on my Lego itself because that's how much my Lego actually is.
It's just content insurance, isn't it?
It's content insurance, exactly. No, it's
Yeah.
content insurance for it.
Yeah, but
it
you
has
have to. You
also
don't
said
have to like. You don't have to declare that because it's a
it.
kid's toy.
There's it's because there's enough of it. There's enough of
dare
it.
you.
That's why.
Right. Okay.
It's because I have this one, Millennium Falcon. I have the other ones. There's enough of it to where actually there's a substantial cost if I lose it. But yeah, so
I can't find how many pieces this is. I think every time I look up Imperial Shuttle, it keeps bringing up the little baby bitch version. It's only 2,000 pieces.
I will find it later. I can actually find it now.
I mean, it's mainly for the
yeah.
podcast. I actually don't care.
Yeah, no, I will find it. I can explain it, but put it down.
Put it in the description.
Put
No,
it in the description.
the Imperial Shuttle was this many pieces.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it on the before so it doesn't break. But
Okay,
that is the
okay.
Imperial Shuttle.
Cool. Good stuff. Nathan, what are you bringing this week?
Something I bought in high school today. I'm bringing Pac-Man.
Oh, I've seen Pac-Man before.
Oh,
Yeah.
There he is.
He's pretty cool, but
It's weird
not
when you
just
see him in 3D.
it's not just 3D Pac-Man.
Yeah.
He also does this. Oh no, his battery's dying.
no.
No. Oh, it's really fucking cursed.
Dude, he's struggling.
Waka.
It's slowing down even now. Anyway, that used to be full speed.
Oh,
The
Thanks,
ghosts are
Pac-Man.
the only scary thing. Pac-Man, cursed Pac-Man. Oh, it's so scuffed. I hate it.
What's your one more thing, Jamie?
So as
We
I
already
said-
know,
as I
but
said, my one more thing is I just thought it would be funny just to have a look at some of the reviews for The Last of Us, which has been almost like a universally critically acclaimed show. Everyone loves it.
Everyone loves
and I
it.
just wanted to see some of the negative reviews for your amusement. So let's start off with this one. First, it starts off with terrible. As a huge Last of Us fan, they fucked it up in every aspect. Don't listen to the people who say it faithfully. It is faithful to the game. I can't fucking read. A lot of them piss their pants. Probably didn't play the game, or their IQ is stone level and didn't get the greatness of the writing when they played then. It deserves a lower score. I just like
what do you mean by they piss their pants?
They piss their pants,
the
dude.
people who
Baby,
say it's faithful piss
Bro,
their pants. They're
bro,
cheating.
baby,
I don't
baby
know, man.
bitches piss their pants, bro. What is this?
This one's another great one. It's a 6 out of 10. I had to skip through some of the episodes as they had no value to the show. You can probably guess what those episodes were.
Mhm.
There's
I know the
things- yeah, exactly. There's a few things that make no sense with the show, but I blame the source material. It's not a bad experience overall, but the show is overrated.
Damn, he's blaming the
So
game.
This is someone who obviously has not played the games.
Yeah.
Who found no value in some of the episodes. On that same point,
There's more.
yeah, I do. I will do one more. I'll do one more.
Oh,
So
I
the
thought
two
that-
episodes I'm thinking of are they right? So episode 3 being
He doesn't say.
Bill.
They don't say.
Okay.
I
And
thought this was the same
one
one.
where Ellie gets
That's
bit.
the ones he's talking
Yeah.
about episode 3 and episode 7.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's another one. I'm not giving or taking away points based on gay couple scenes. Time to get past that, everyone. And I mean everyone. The writing is the weak point so far. Also, we're trying to be science fiction rather than supernatural, but they look and behavior of the zombies is not believable.
Not sci-fi.
Where is their energy coming from? Why don't they fall apart? Why don't their eyes work? All just dumb choices based on recreating old tropes and familiar scenes. Not new, not fun, not interesting.
What? They explain it perfectly.
They explain it. They
Yeah.
explain
Literally,
it.
it's literally the fungus. It's the infection. It's the fungal
And-
infection that's controlling the person.
And
And
they
the
eat as well. Like they're still
Yeah.
taking on kilojoules. Like they're
Yeah.
living.
And
I mean, I think it's mainly due to the point at the beginning where they say, "I'm not giving or taking away points based a couple
Yeah.
gay scenes."
yeah, bro. That's oh
Bro, if
my.
you've got to say that, just don't.
Surely not.
Yeah.
Here's another one, dude. Disappointingly slow. Oh no, they say disappointing show. Sorry, there was another one that said slow. So many changes from the game where you can't even recognize that it is based on it. Also, the cast was terrible, from not looking the same to not sharing same emotions of its characters. This should be a good show if it's not based on the game. What? Bro,
Excuse
I
me?
mean, as I said,
This should
some of these
be-
aren't English.
This should be a good show if it's not based
So
on.
let me
the
break it
game.
down, right? They say characters don't look like how they look in the game.
Okay.
Ellie doesn't look cute enough for this fucking pedophile. That's what I'm
that's
getting
basically
at.
what he's saying.
That's what
basically
he's saying. Uh,
Joel
And-
is like Spanish descent.
yeah. Also, the cast was terrible from not sharing same emotions of its characters.
I don't know if you noticed, but Joel's kid in the show is black. She's not in the game. This is big deal, apparently.
Yeah. Oh,
Sorry,
okay,
boys. I gotta go.
This is the last one. This is the last one, just because it's so brain dead. This is a slap in the face for all fans of the series. Complete miscast. Don't give a damn about canon. The acting is zero.
Wow.
Moreover,
Acting is
most
zero.
of the original characters do not resemble themselves, both externally and in their moral image.
I don't know about that.
What does that mean?
Hmm.
I have one question. If you don't care about the canon and you wanted to tell a different story, the one that you wanted to show, then why be attached to the original characters? Why not take some Jack from Portland who walks across the country with another girl? I suspect that this is done because the script is crap and it is necessary to somehow attract the viewer
It's
at the
literally the
expense of
same.
famous characters. In short, complete parasitism on the original
Oh my
story,
God.
which you distort as best you can. I'm a big fan of the series and I've been waiting for this series for a long time, but I did not expect such a disappointment. 0 out of 10.
I'm a big fan of the series, but I hated it.
But it does. I don't recognize it. It's like what?
Okay.
Yeah, man. Okay. Oh, sorry. There's one more. There's one more. Set 20 years after the destruction of civilization, the supposed Joel endured those years apparently not knowing how to fight or survive. After his only second, yeesh, the second encounter with a bad guy gets mortally injured. Any similarity with the game's Joel, it's coincidental. The OG himself killed over 70 explorers only in Pittsburgh, bringing fear to the whole group of insurgents. Then you have Ellie, repellent girl without the best parts of her personality in the game.
Oh no.
Ugh,
What?
that's weird, jump. I gotta
That's
say though, what's her name? Bella Ramsey. She plays Ellie really well. Like,
So well.
yeah, just the way that it's very accurate. It surprised me.
I need to delete these off this Word document. It's brain dead. It's like, it is just, it's so bad.
Quick
It's
note that I
so
did
bad.
forget to mention because I was going to say when I was talking about me playing the game.
Mhm.
I prefer the characters that they've built in the TV show and the ways they've portrayed and built them compared to the game. I think
Okay.
they've done a better job in the TV show.
No shot.
Hmm
I will say,
I like Joel more in the TV show.
some of the line delivery in the TV show is worse than it is in the games.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Typically, it's like when they're doing like obviously line for line, and it's mainly the last episode where Joel in the last episode is more monotone and
Yeah.
like he's almost disassociating. Which I just love that because anyway. But in the game, like Troy Baker has a lot more like emotion behind the lines he's saying, so I think it pays off a little bit better. It's mainly when he talks to Marlene.
Yeah.
When he says you'll just follow her, you'll just look for her or something.
Yeah.
That hits harder in the game than it does in the show. But overall, show really, really well done. And I don't think you can do it better on TV, to be honest. So
No, probably not.
these reviews, certified brain dead.
But what about the
Um,
gay scenes?
Yeah, dude. No value, by the way.
No
value.
value.
That episode 3 is probably going to win so many fucking Emmys. Like it's going to win so many awards.
It was a good episode.
So good. Such a good episode, man.
All right.
It's actually funny. Like I feel like in a lot of media, I haven't been able to, because I'm straight, haven't been able to immediately, I don't feel represented when I see a gay relationship, because I'm like, it's a gay it's not a straight relationship. But that relationship fully was like, I understand, I get their relationship, I get their emotions, and it just felt so natural and real
It
to
didn't
me.
feel forced at all.
Did not feel forced at all. Super, super like just genuine, just like the complete love, and it was beautiful. Such a good episode.
Blind people would argue that it did feel forced because they didn't see that he was in the game, but
Yeah. It's like those people just didn't read the notes, you know? Not
Nope.
real fans. They're not reading the shit. They're not reading the stuff.
Open, close.
And on that note, that's the end of the episode. A little bit of a shorter one, but we still managed an hour and a half. I think that is quite a.
We can
What a
ramble for
feat.
2 hours about anything.
We can
Yeah,
ramble
we
for 2 hours about
We
anything.
could.
But thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with us. And yeah, that's episode 9 of the 71st Hour Gaming Podcast. Join us next week for episode 10. 10 episodes. Gonna be
Double
an exciting
digits.
one. Nothing special planned at all. It should be like same old podcast, but still
Wait
stick
for
around.
episode 100.
Exactly.
Episode
Then we
100,
got something
episode
big.
71's got to be a big one, right?
Oh, true.
Oh, true. Episode 71 has to be a big one.
I don't know
Yeah.
I don't know what we'll think about it. We've still
Yeah.
got 61 weeks to go, so
Yeah,
well,
there we
62
go.
technically.
62.
Anyways, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for listening to us ramble,
Mhm.
and we will catch you next week for another episode.
Alrighty.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.